Every single day, millions of Filipinos go to work, shop at a mall, send money through a bank, or just flick on a light switch. But have you ever stopped to think about the hidden architecture of power behind those simple acts? It's a system largely controlled by a handful of families and individuals. These aren't just the richest people in the Philippines, they're the dynasties that literally built the modern nation. Their empires are so massive, their influence so profound, that their story is the story of the Philippine economy. In this video, we're counting down 10 of the most powerful Filipino business titans in 2025. We'll uncover their staggering net worth and the incredible origin stories of how they built their fortunes, from humble beginnings to continent-spanning empires. This list mixes both family fortunes and individual trailblazers, and the answer to who holds the top spot might just change how you see the Philippines. Number 10. The Gattianan family. Starting our list is the Gattianan family, the driving force behind the Philinvest Group. Their story is a masterclass in resilience and long-term vision, a narrative that began in the ashes of World War II. The patriarch, Andrew Gattianan Sr., and his wife, Mercedes, didn't start with a massive inheritance. They started with a sharp eye for opportunity in a country that was rebuilding itself from scratch. In the 1950s, they began by financing the purchase of second-hand cars, a simple but essential service in the post-war economy. This small financing business was the seed from which a mighty conglomerate would grow. By 1955, they had founded Philinvest, the company that would become the cornerstone of their empire. But the Gattianans understood the Filipino dream on a deeper level. They knew that more than a car, what so many people wanted was a home. In the 1960s, they made a pivotal move into real estate that would define their legacy. Instead of building only for the elite, Philinvest helped pioneer affordable housing, developing huge residential subdivisions that made homeownership a reality for a much wider swath of the population. This wasn't just smart business, it was a move that helped fuel the growth of the Filipino middle class. Today, with their children at the helm, the family's influence stretches far beyond housing. Philinvest Development Corporation is a major diversified conglomerate. Their portfolio includes towering residential and commercial buildings that sculpt city skylines, bustling shopping malls, and significant interests in banking through East West Bank. They've pushed into power generation and hospitality, creating an integrated ecosystem of services that touches almost every part of modern life. The Gattianan family story is a powerful reminder that an empire can rise from a modest venture when it's built on fulfilling the dreams of a nation. Number 8. The Andrew Tan family. Next up is a man who turned a simple bottle of brandy into a multi-billion-dollar fortune. Andrew Tan, with an empire worth an estimated $1.6 billion, is a classic rags-to-riches tale that captures the relentless drive of a self-made tycoon. Andrew Tan's story doesn't start in a fancy boardroom, it begins on the streets of Manila. As the son of a factory worker, he took on all sorts of odd jobs to pay for his education. His early life was a lesson in pure grit, a trait that would define his entire career. After graduating, Tan didn't invest in stocks or traditional businesses. He scraped together his savings and bought a small distillery. It was a huge gamble, but one that paid off in spectacular fashion. He envisioned a local brandy that could go head-to-head with international brands, a vision that became Emperador Brandy. Emperador didn't just succeed, it became the world's best-selling brandy by volume, a Filipino brand that conquered the global market. But Andrew Tan was just getting warmed up. The fortune he built on liquor was just the fuel for his next, much bigger ambition, to reshape the entire urban landscape of the Philippines. Through his flagship company, Megaworld Corporation, Tan pioneered the live, work, play township concept. Instead of just building lonely condo towers, he built entire integrated communities. These townships, like Eastwood City, McKinley Hill, and Newport City, are self-contained cities with homes, offices, malls, and entertainment hubs all in one place. This visionary approach to real estate completely changed how Filipinos live and work in big cities. Today, Andrew Tan's Alliance Global Group is a sprawling conglomerate with major interests not just in liquor and real estate, but also in gaming and hospitality, including the famous Resorts World Manila. From the son of a factory worker to the architect of entire cityscapes, Andrew Tan's journey is proof of how a single bold idea, when chased with unstoppable determination, can build a legacy that towers over a nation. Number 7. The Lucio Tan family. At number 7, we find one of the most enduring and controversial names in Philippine business, Lucio Tan. With a net worth estimated to be around $3.3 billion, his story is a complex web of ambition, diversification, and sheer staying power that spans decades and industries. Like many of the country's tycoons, Lucio Tan started with nothing. An immigrant from Fujian, China, he reportedly worked as a janitor at a tobacco factory to pay for his chemical engineering studies. It was in the tobacco industry that he would make his first fortune. He founded Fortune Tobacco in the 1960s, and through aggressive marketing and a sharp sense of the local market, he shattered the dominance of established players and built a cigarette empire. But tobacco was just the beginning. Lucio Tan's real genius and the key to his lasting wealth was his relentless drive to diversify. He wasn't content with just one industry. He wanted to build a conglomerate that was part of the very fabric of the Philippine economy. His acquisitions became legendary. He moved into banking, eventually taking control of what is now the Philippine National Bank. He jumped into the liquor business with Asia Brewery, directly challenging the decades-long monopoly held by San Miguel Corporation. But his most famous and audacious move was taking over the nation's flag carrier, Philippine Airlines. This cemented his status as a true titan, controlling not just goods and services, but the very way Filipinos connect with the rest of the world. Through the years, his LT Group has become a massive holding company with interests in everything from airlines to banking to real estate and beverages. His empire is a testament to a philosophy of aggressive expansion, a strategy that has kept him one of the Philippines' wealthiest individuals for generations.
Number 7. The Zobel de Ayala family. Entering our list is a family that is less a business and more of a national institution, the Zobel de Ayala family. With a net worth of around $2.6 billion, they are the oldest business dynasty in the Philippines, a family whose history is completely intertwined with the history of the nation itself. Their story doesn't start in the 20th century. It goes all the way back to 1834 during the Spanish colonial era. It began with a small distillery in Manila, a partnership between Antonio de Ayala and Domingo Rojas that was originally named Casa Rojas. Over nearly 2 centuries, that small business evolved into Ayala y Compañía and eventually the modern Ayala Corporation. This incredible longevity is what truly sets them apart. While other fortunes on this list were built in a single lifetime, the Zobel de Ayalas have stewarded and grown their wealth for 8 generations, constantly adapting and innovating through revolutions, wars, and massive economic shifts. Their most famous contribution to the modern Philippines is arguably the city of Makati. After World War II, the family took what was essentially swampland and transformed it into the country's premier central business district. This wasn't just a real estate project, it was an act of nation building. They planned a modern city from the ground up, laying the foundation for the financial heart of the Philippines. Today, Ayala Corporation is one of the largest and most diversified conglomerates in the country. Their influence is everywhere. If you bank with BPI, use a Globe mobile service, shop at an Ayala mall, or live in an Ayala land community, you are interacting with their legacy. From banking and real estate to telecom and utilities, their companies are pillars of the national economy. The Zobel de Ayala family represents the pinnacle of old money in the Philippines, a dynasty that has not only built incredible wealth, but has quite literally shaped the physical and economic landscape of the country for nearly 200 years. Number 5. The Isidro Consunji family. At number 5, we have a family whose name is synonymous with the very act of building, the Isidro Consunji family. At the helm of DMCI Holdings, their fortune is estimated at $3.7 billion, a legacy built quite literally from the ground up. The empire's foundation was laid by the late patriarch David Kansunji, a man often called the father of the Philippine construction industry. After graduating as a civil engineer, he founded DM Kansunji Inc. in 1954 with little more than his skills and an incredible work ethic. In the decades that followed, his company built many of the country's most iconic landmarks and critical infrastructure projects. From the cultural center of the Philippines to Manila's light rail transit, DMCI's fingerprints are all over the modern Philippine landscape. David Kansunji built his name on quality, efficiency, and an ability to tackle the most complex engineering challenges imaginable. When his eldest son, Isidro Kansunji, took over, he inherited not just a construction company, but his father's strategic mind. Recognizing the risks of relying on a single industry, Isidro led a massive diversification effort through the holding company, DMCI Holdings. This was a turning point. They used their engineering expertise to branch into real estate, creating DMCI Homes, which became a leading developer of residential communities. But they didn't stop there. They made bold moves into mining through Semirara Mining and Power Corporation, becoming the country's largest coal producer. They also ventured into power generation and water services, transforming DMCI from just a construction firm into a diversified engineering and infrastructure powerhouse. The Kansunji family's wealth is the direct result of their unmatched ability to build and power the nation. They are the master builders, a dynasty whose fortune is concretely tied to the physical development of the Philippines. Number 4. Ramon Ang. Next is a man who took one of the oldest companies in the Philippines and single-handedly transformed it into a modern industrial giant. Ramon Ang, as the president and CEO of San Miguel Corporation, his net worth stands at an impressive $3.75 billion. His is a story of unbelievable vision, relentless execution, and a high-stakes pivot that redefined a 135-year-old company. Ramon Ang, often known as RSA, was not born into the corporate elite. A mechanical engineer by trade, he famously got his start fixing and selling used car and truck engines. His big break came through his friendship with the late Eduardo Danding Cohanquanco, Jr., then the chairman of San Miguel. Cohanquanco recognized Ang's business savvy and brought him into the company. Ang quickly rose through the ranks, becoming president and COO in 2002. For over a century, San Miguel was beer. It was a beloved brand and a profitable business. But Ramon Ang saw a completely different future. He believed the company's real growth lay not in beverages, but in the foundational industries of the Philippine economy. What followed was one of the most aggressive diversification strategies in Philippine corporate history. He steered the conglomerate into heavy industry, pouring billions into power generation, oil refining through Petron, and most importantly, infrastructure. Under his leadership, San Miguel has become the country's single largest investor in infrastructure projects. The company is now building new expressways, mass transit systems, and its most audacious project yet, a massive new international airport in Bulacan, poised to redefine air travel for the entire region. Ramon Ang effectively turned a food and beverage giant into the primary engine of the Philippines' infrastructure boom. His story is a masterclass in corporate transformation, showing how one bold leader can reshape a legacy company into a force that is literally building the future of a nation.
Number 3. Manuel Villar. Reaching our top 3 is a tycoon who has masterfully blended business and politics. A man whose name is a household brand across the country. Manuel "Manny" Villar. His family's staggering net worth is estimated at a colossal $11 billion, making him the wealthiest individual in the Philippines. His is the ultimate rags-to-riches story.
a journey from a Tondo market to the absolute peak of wealth and power. Manny Villar's story starts in the bustling working-class district of Tondo, Manila, where his mother sold seafood. He often talks about helping her at the market, an early education in hard work and entrepreneurship. After earning a business degree, he worked as an accountant before striking out on his own. His first business wasn't glamorous. He delivered sand and gravel to construction sites, but it was there that he spotted his golden opportunity. Villar saw the huge, unmet demand for affordable housing. In 1975, with a small loan, he started a business building and selling homes. This was the birth of what would become Vistaland. His genius was in mass-producing quality, affordable homes for the Filipino middle class, a market that had been largely ignored. His company, Camella Homes, became synonymous with the dream of home ownership for millions. While building his housing empire, he also launched a successful political career, serving as a congressman, Speaker of the House, and Senate President. After an unsuccessful run for president, he returned to the private sector with a vengeance, expanding his business empire at a dizzying pace. Today, the Villar Group's interests go far beyond housing. They're in retail with All Home and All Day Supermarket, memorial parks with Golden Haven, and are now building their most ambitious project yet, Villar City, a massive 3,500-hectare development that aims to become a new center of gravity south of Manila. From the markets of Tondo to building entire cities, Manny Villar's story is a powerful epic of ambition, market mastery, and building an empire on the Filipino dream. Number 2. Enrique Razon Jr. Our runner-up is a man who commands a global empire right from the shores of Manila, Enrique Razon Jr. With a breathtaking net worth of $11.5 billion, he's a dominant force in the worlds of global logistics and high-stakes gaming. His is the story of inheriting a powerful legacy and then scaling it to a level his predecessors could have only dreamed of. The Razon name has been synonymous with Philippine ports for generations. His grandfather started the family business, and his father built it into the country's top port operator. But when Enrique "Ricky" Razon Jr. took over the flagship company, International Container Terminal Services Inc., or ICTSI, he had a vision that stretched far beyond the Philippines. Razon's bold plan was to take the expertise they perfected in Manila's ports and export it to the world. In the 1990s, ICTSI started bidding on contracts to manage ports in other countries. Starting with a risky venture in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It was a huge gamble, but it paid off. That success became the blueprint for our relentless global expansion. Today, ICTSI is a true multinational giant, operating a network of ports and terminals across 6 continents. Razon's genius was seeing that the principles of efficiency and modern management could be applied to vital infrastructure hubs anywhere in the world, creating a logistics empire that keeps global trade moving. But Razon wasn't satisfied with dominating just one industry. He saw another massive opportunity in tourism and entertainment. He founded Bloomberry Resorts and built Solaire Resort and Casino, the first integrated resort to open in the Philippines' entertainment city. Solaire instantly set a new standard for luxury and gaming in the country and became a huge financial success. Just recently, he opened his second casino, Solaire Resort North, further cementing his dominance. From the gritty world of shipping containers to the glamour of high-stakes casinos, Enrique Razon Jr. has proven himself a master of massive capital-intensive industries, building a truly global empire. Number 1. The C family. And now at the number 1 spot, the wealthiest family in the Philippines, a dynasty whose name is part of the daily life of nearly every single Filipino, the C family. With a combined net worth of approximately $11.8 billion, the heirs of the late Henry C. Sr. command the country's largest conglomerate, the SM Group. Their story is the ultimate tale of a small shoe store growing into an empire of almost unbelievable scale. The story starts with a young immigrant from Xiamen, China, named Henry C. He arrived in the Philippines with practically nothing and began his journey with a small neighborhood store. After World War II, he spotted an opportunity selling surplus American shoes. That small shoe business, which he called Shoe Mart, was the humble beginning of his empire. He opened the first Shoe Mart store on Carriedo Street in Manila. His philosophy was simple: offer a huge variety of shoes at good prices with excellent customer service. From that one shoe store, Henry C's vision grew. He expanded into a full department store, and then came the idea that would change the Philippines forever: the supermall. In 1985, during a time of major political and economic uncertainty, he opened the first SM Supermall, SM City North EDSA. Critics called it C's folly, convinced it was too big and would fail. They were dead wrong. The mall was an instant hit. Henry C had tapped into the Filipino people's love for malling as a social activity. He didn't just build places to shop. He built community centers, air-conditioned plazas where families could gather, eat, and be entertained. Today, the empire Henry C built, now managed by his 6 children, Teresita, Elizabeth, Henry Jr., Hans, Herbert, and Harley, is almost incomprehensibly vast. SM Investments Corporation is a titan of Philippine business. It is the country's largest mall operator, with SM supermalls in nearly every major city. They control the country's largest bank, BDO Unibank, and have massive real estate interests through SM Prime Holdings, not to mention their ventures in hospitality and retail. While their net worth fluctuates, their position at the top remains a testament to their deep influence. From a single shoe store to an empire that defines the nation's retail and financial landscape, the C family's journey is the definitive story of wealth and power in the modern Philippines. From a real estate empire built on affordable housing to the nearly $12 billion retail and banking juggernaut at the top, the stories of these 10 dynasties are as diverse as they are incredible. Yet you can see common threads running through them all. There's the recurring theme of the immigrant's ambition, the rags-to-riches journey from a market stall or a tiny shop to a corporate tower. There's the power of a single, bold vision, whether it's building a mall when nobody believed in it or laying fiber optic cables to connect an entire nation. Above all, there's resilience. These are dynasties that have navigated financial crises, political chaos, and the relentless pressure of competition. They haven't just survived, they've thrived, expanding their influence with each new generation. They are the architects of modern Manila, the quiet engines of the Philippine economy. Their names are on the malls we go to, the banks we use, the homes we aspire to own, and the infrastructure that moves us forward. Their stories are more than just a list of who has the most money. They're a living chronicle of how the modern Philippines was built. If you found this deep dive into the empires of the Philippines' most powerful families and individuals fascinating, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more documentaries on the biggest names in business and finance. We want to hear from you in the comments below. Which origin story surprised you the most, and whose impact do you think is felt most in the daily lives of Filipinos? Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.